What's up everybody, it's Old Man Winter 8 for Sun & Ski Sports, and I'm going to show you how to adjust your Nidecker Supermatics to fit your boots properly no matter what you're wearing on your feet. So obviously the biggest feature of the Supermatic binding is that you push down on this lever and you lift your foot and you're out of the binding. And then when you go to get in, all you have to do is put your toe in and step down on your heel and you're ready to ride. But before you do any of that, just like any other binding on the market, you have to make sure that your straps and everything is adjusted and set just right before you do anything with the Nidecker drop-in mechanism. So starting off, mounting the binding, it's just like mounting any other binding. It has a standard disc that will fit on 4x4, it'll fit on channel, or it'll fit on 3D. So that's exactly the same as any other binding. You just want to make sure that you have your angles set, make sure you have your width right, and also make sure to move the binding forward or backward or keep it right in the middle, depending on the size of your boot, to make sure that your foot is centered up and your toes and heels are hanging off the board the exact same amount. And then even when you look at the high back, it's very, very similar to, again, all the other bindings on the market where you're going to flip this, slide your piece up and down to get right where your forward lean needs to be and where you like it, and then you just lock that into position. But the biggest thing on this one is going to be in these straps. You're going to want to make sure that these straps are set perfectly for your specific boot, just like you do with any other binding, but there is one more step. So first things first, once you get your binding mounted on the board, you want to make sure that the drop-in system is completely engaged and pushed all the way down. We want to make sure that you have this set exactly like you would as if you were out riding. Then you're going to go ahead and you're going to put your boot on your foot. Don't actually do this with your foot out of the boot like I'm about to do. Do as I say, not as I do. And this is because that once your foot is inside the boot, that's exactly how it's gonna fit, how it's gonna feel. And if you take a boot just like this, it's gonna actually be a little bit smaller and it's probably gonna be a little bit tighter. So you're gonna end up adjusting the straps too tight, which can make getting in and out of the binding a little bit more challenging. So once you get all of that set, you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna release both buckles and you're gonna open this up just like you would with your standard strap binding. And you're gonna go ahead and put your foot inside the binding. Make sure that your heel is all the way back in the heel loop, and you're gonna go ahead and ratchet your straps down just like you would with a regular binding. Now, if you're finding that the ratchet won't ratchet on these things, it probably means that this little locking mechanism is pushed down. So you wanna flip that up so you can see a little bit of red on the side of it. That means that the buckle is easily tightened and also easily loosened. So we wanna get these straps centered up on your foot. And again, this is very, very similar to just about any strap binding on the market. We wanna make sure that we have that centered. We don't want any chances of the binding actually pinching on your foot. We want to make sure that this ratchet is down towards more of the side of your foot. We don't want it all the way down because we still want to have a little bit of room for adjustment, but we want to make sure that it's pulling on these teeth and not pushing into your boot. So with these straps, it's very, very easy. They have their flip locks on the side that you can basically flip loose. And you're going to notice that there's 3 of these. So there's one on your toe strap, there's one on your ankle strap, and then there's one on this little piece here that's in between the 2 straps. So what I always tell people is loosen this up and pull this all the way out so that's as big as it can be, because that's going to be the strap that we adjust last. So first things first, go ahead and push your ratchet strap down on your toe, get it kind of set so it is in the middle, and you're gonna ratchet that strap down, and we want this thing to really stretch and wrap around your boot. Now, if you notice that the center of the strap itself is not on the center of the toe of the boot, like this one is right now, I'm gonna go ahead and pop that ratchet loose. I'm gonna loosen up that quick adjust, and I'm gonna push that thing down a little bit tighter, lock that thing into position, and then I'm gonna ratchet the strap down snug. And then once I notice that I've got the strap centered up on my foot, toe strap's ready to go. And we're gonna do the exact same thing on the ankle strap. We've got that strap loose. What I usually like to do is I'll take it and I'll set it so the center of the strap is on the center of my boot with it ratcheted, not tight, but like almost to the tight point. And then I'll push this strap down on the outside, lock it into position, and then ratchet it down. And most of the time that's gonna be centered up. But again, you might have to do it a couple times and just get it set to the point where you feel comfortable and you feel like the binding is ratcheted down and it feels nice and snug on your foot. Now, once you have both of these straps set, you're ready to ride. So what you can do is lock down this little tab so you can't see that little bit of red. We want it to stay in this position that's comfortable and in this riding position all day long. Now, the last thing that we need to do is we need to look at this little strap that goes over the top of the boot. Now, this is not a strap that we want to adjust so it's tight. This is not to hold your foot in. What this is this is a piece that kind of links down towards the bottom here by the toe strap, and it obviously links to the ankle strap. We want this thing to be kind of loose. We do want a little bit of a gap. I always tell people, take your pinky, kind of put it underneath there, and then set it so it's a little bit snug on your pinky, but again, you don't want it to be super, super tight against your boot. Now, the reason we want this one adjusted properly is that if this is sitting against your boot, it's going to be pulling the ankle strap down a little bit. We want it to be up. What that does is when you actually do release the drop-in mechanism, it does help hold the ankle strap up a little bit, so it's easier to get your foot out, and it's also easier to get your foot in. So the cool thing is once we've got the strap set to that point, now all you have to do all day long is push down, lift your foot up, and slide your toe out, and you're out of the binding. And then when you go to get your foot back into the binding, all you have to do is slide your foot all the way to the front. There's a little roller on the back of the heel loop that helps the boot roll in, and you step down it and it engages the high back. You'll hear those clicks and you know that you're locked in and ready to ride. But if you got any questions about anything that we talked about in this video, definitely leave some comments down below. Also, you can stop into any of the Sun and Ski locations or check them out at sunandski.com.